songwriters do. They play on those sort of themes, those sort of time signatures, and the chorus has to hit at this certain time, the melody has to repeat it this many times. There are definitely ways of doing that. But that doesn't necessarily make it a quote-unquote good song. That may have been a commercially successful song, but it doesn't mean it was necessarily good, because good, as far as music is concerned, is in the eyes of the listener. The ears of the listener, the eyes of the beholder. And that I love about music is that somebody can listen to a band or artist and absolutely love what they do, and somebody else can go, that is garbage and trash. And both of them are 100% correct.
Right.
Because that's just how they interpreted it. And that is totally okay. And that's why, like on Facebook, I'm a really big proponent of bands and artists, and it is not competitive. There are, and I'm not naive, there are facets of the music industry that are incredibly competitive. There's only so many festival slots. There are only so many opening slots on a bill of a show. And one band will get it, and one band won't. So I get that. But as far as growing a fan base and connecting with individual people, which is literally the most important thing you can do with your music, it's completely subjective.
It is.
You're going to come across so many people that don't like what you do, and you're going to come across so many people that love what you do. Well, focus on the ones that love what you do, and continue to grow, continue to build that audience, So, yeah, we live in a wonderful time.
You are absolutely right, and I do want to touch more upon this after we hear from Sumptus Ignis. They're from Florida. This song's called Onward. lot of podcasts in the universe, and unfortunately, they didn't have you guys. Hey, Steel Plaza fans, you can show your support of the show in so many ways. Find us on Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever you go to feel your Steel Plaza jag. Or even ask Alexa, hey Alexa, play Steel Plaza Podcast. Thank you for your support and for donating at www.paypal.me/Steel Plaza Podcast. Help us by donating so we can keep delivering to you the high quality entertainment that you deserve. That's www.paypal.me/Steel Plaza Podcast. Right back here on Darkest Corners of the World. That was Sumptus Ignis from Florida. The song's called Onward. And we are joined with Justin Goodson from Days to Come. We were talking briefly about how music is subjective. And a lot of people will say, well, I don't like that genre, so I won't even bother myself to listen to it. And I think that's something that's a toxic thought to have. Justin.
I completely agree. I can't really say from the perspective of simply a listener, from simply a bystander, not a creative person, not a songwriter, not a musician, but just somebody that turns on the radio and listens. They are definitely entitled to their opinion of what is good musically or bad musically, and they can have that. And I think, as simply a fan and nothing more than that, that's okay. But as a creative, it's really hard to draw a hard line in the sand and go, this is good, this is bad, I don't like this, I do like this. I'm not going to listen to those genres. I'm not going to expose myself to the influences that I could have in order to create something that could be different than what I'm currently creating. I think that's kind of dangerous. And it's kind of limiting, because
it's very limiting.
You're not exposing yourself to new things, new ideas. And as a creative, you constantly want to feel inspired by new things. Otherwise, you're going to continue to create something very similar to what you've created before. And, there's a lot of major label bands that have made careers on that.
AC/DC.
Yeah, but I do think that since art, or since music is an art form, I think people deserve more than that. Because what if, let's just hypothetically say, what if AC/DC had done something slightly different moving forward in the future? They could have created something more than what they had. And I'm not saying what they had was any less, but they could have potentially had a little bit more if they strayed from some formulas that they used. And there's a lot of pressures for why they did what they did, and that's neither here nor there. But as an independent artist, without regulation, without a bunch of hands in the pot dictating what you do and what you write, we have that freedom to explore that and go, cool, I can't with this record, or I can't with this song, and I want to go in a slightly different direction, just 5 degrees.
Right.
And you just continue to grow, continue to mature, and you kind of bring your audience along with you until it's like, wow, how did we even get here? Well, 10 singles later, 3 records later, this is kind of what we sound like. And if I didn't listen to all these other bands or, be exposed to whatever it is I'm exposed to, I would have never had these influences. And that's life, it's in that journey, and bring others along with it. It's such a cool process, especially being a musician and being a creative in that, where you can funnel that into something that exists outside of yourself. That's so awesome.
I agree, and I want to say that to the point where if someone says that, well, I'm not going to listen to that, or that song's completely unlistenable, I just absolutely disagree. I feel that whenever there's a song that I haven't heard, I need to hear it. And I need to hear it front to back. And the reason being is that maybe there's something in there that I need to know that I haven't heard before. That's how I feel.
No, and that's a great way of approaching it. It's kind of like this unexplored, unmarked territory. I haven't heard that. I'm curious. I want to go there. You
Right.
know, and I think if more artists kind of had a mind like that was open to that, there's no telling what would be out right now. There's no telling what sort of songs would be created, you know, what tones and textures and music instruments that would be used to create that. It'd be pretty awesome.
So, to summarize, if you're closing off yourself to new music that you haven't heard before, you are closing off your mind to potential things that can assist you in creative processes. And I think that's something that needs to be said. Up next, from Uniontown, Pennsylvania, this is Vantage Blue with 135.
A fear, the feeling, fear. You need to grab the wheel and steer. Drive me back to where I'll hear